Royal Ascot Wednesday. Another day, another rosebud. And more horses from Wathnan's powerful stable in their bid for Ascot glory. Today's first is the storied Queen Mary Stakes, now in its 103rd year. 2-year-old fillies over the shortest distance, 5 furlongs, pure speed. Wathnan run the powerfully built filly Leovanni, trained by Karl Burke.
Leovanni won her maiden at Nottingham very well. She jumped sharp and made most of the running. I don't think we need to be looking to do that at Royal Ascot, but you know, she's a very professional filly.
Leovanni has asked her stretch and she's quickened away here. She's drawn 3-4 lengths ahead and is already looking a useful prospect, but Leovanni has won comfortably.
Leovanni came out of Nottingham really well. She's trained, done everything we want in her training since. Worked very nicely a few days ago leading into Ascot. Very happy with her. Leovanni is a very strong filly by Cody Bear. She's a real sprint looking filly, everything in the right place. So I don't think she'll be a filly that will stretch out too far, but 6 furlongs should be within her remit after Royal Ascot.
Later on this afternoon, the Royal HuntCup, one of the week's signature handicaps, with runners assigned different weights to carry according to their perceived ability. Up the straight mile, with horses spread right across the track, it's one of our sport's most thrilling spectacles. Those shimmering Wathnan colours will again be in evidence. One Wathnan candidate is Hamad Al-Jehani's Beshtani.
Beshtani is showing us a very good start. He finished second in Ipsum, first out here in England. I think he showed a lot of ability. He's going to HuntCup, 1 mile. Hopefully he will be one of the top 5 in favourite. Hopefully we will have a great success with him. They are good horses, straightforward, honest horses all the time. They do their job very well. If we can get good results for the first year, everyone understands that if anyone who finished second, they will not remember him. So it will be good for us for a start to have win. At least they can know the Hamad Al-Jehani and Wathnan team, they are here.
Also in the HuntCup is Real Gain, trained by former royal jockey Richard Hughes.
Beautiful walk, plenty of size which you need in Ascot. I've ridden 31 winners at Ascot, and I always feel in a big handicap you need a bit of size. You need to bully your way into some of those small gaps. So he's got a bit of size and physique, and he's got a lot of pace. And he also gets 1.25 miles. Ascot's the most gruelling mile of all, especially with 28 runners. So he ticks nearly all the boxes. Now what we did learn about this horse, he likes to run fresh.
It's Real Gain and Finley Marsh who are striding quite purposely clear here. This is going to be tight. Real Gain and Garden Route. Real Gain gamely. And Real Gain goes on here inside the final furlong. In fact, he's really gaining ground on them and sprinting away in the closing stages.
On the day we're going to need a good draw. It's very important. Over the years, the low numbers often win, or then the high numbers often win. But what we did learn in Newbury in his run, it was the first time he was dropped in behind in a big field. And the jockey came back and reported he absolutely loved it. Because all his other wins, he nearly made the running. So we learned through default that this is probably a better way to ride him. And which is ideal for HuntCup. Very hard to make the running in a HuntCup and win. You need a horse that's able to drop in.
And a quick one to tie things up. The Windsor Castle Stakes over a rapid 5 furlongs. For Wathnan, watch out for Artagnan, trained by Karl Burke, who comes here as a maiden, having finished second running down the hill at Ripon on his debut.
Artagnan will run in the Windsor Castle at Royal Ascot. He's a nice horse, good colt. He ran very well on his first start for us, but I don't see him being a top class colt, but he's a horse that will win plenty of races. Artagnan is quite a scopy horse. He's not a typical strong sprinting type of 2-year-old, so I think he will stretch a little bit, and I think he'll get further in time. Artagnan ran very well first time up. Ripon for 2-year-olds is quite an undulating track, so it's a difficult track to start a horse on, but it's quite close to home, so I was keen just to not travel him too far. He did hit all the undulations and got a little bit unbalanced at an important time of the race, but was beaten by a pretty useful horse, I think, pretty useful colt of Richard Fahey's, so I was very happy with the run.
These two are clear, and it's Loom getting on top. Artagnan second.
Artagnan has come out of the Ripon race really well. He's training nicely. Haven't had to do a lot of work with him in his prep for the Windsor Castle.
Also in the Windsor Castle is the exciting Richard Fahey trained Shadow Army.
Shadow Army. Look, he was a horse that was working extremely well. He was top of my 2-year-old list, and we were very pleased with his performance. We thought he'd win easier, if that makes sense, but I always find that the real good ones don't really get tested at home as much as you'd like, and he sort of fell out the gates, out the stalls.
Shadow Army in the grey and gold, one of the slowest to come out of the stalls, bustled along in rear.
Sort of got lost, got stuck in the middle of the track, but when he came back through and Danny really grabbed hold of him, Danny Tudhope rode him that day, I think he knuckled down and did it well. When he got to the line, he had his ears pricked, which is always a good sign, so he's going to improve a ton for that.
Shadow Army is also thrusting through gold sleeves and cap across the track deep inside the furlong. Shadow Army, Francisco's piece, and on the far side, King of Light, and Shadow Army coming home strongest.
The second horse has gone to Shanty and won a listed race well, so the form is rock solid. And do I think he's a better horse than South York? Yes, I do. So they'll have a gallop and probably a bounce out the stalls the weekend before Ascot. Very pleased with him.
What a thrill for the Wathnan team to have horses in so many of the races. Still full of running at the end of day 2? We'll be back again tomorrow when it's Gold Cup Day.